Hi, Cindy Pearson, student number 176652 for the Diploma of Life Coaching with Estrada College. This is my identification, and this is Tina here that's helping me with my role play today.
Hi, I'm Tina. I give permission for Cindy to interview me to help with her studying.
Thank you. This is for Unit 8, my practical assessment for Unit 8, the narrative interview in life coaching. We'll start the role play now, thanks. Hi Tina, what brings you here today?
Okay, I'm a bit of a perfectionist. I've always had trouble with being a perfectionist, but lately I find that it's sort of coming out in all other areas of my life, be it work, personal things, and I guess that I'm expecting everyone else to be perfect like me rather than realise I've got the problem and pull it back a little bit.
Okay, so it sounds like with this problem, the main issue is perfectionism.
Hmm.
And you seem to be quite personalising that. You're saying that the problem's you, you've got the issue. I'm just hearing words like that. Can I just suggest that a good way for us to approach this problem before moving forward with it and working through it is for us to externalise this problem out of you so that you can now look at it in an objective manner instead of being so personally attached to this problem. Just for a moment, we're going to pull it out of you and have a look at it in an objective way. And the way that we do this is by naming the problem, labeling the problem, and seeing it as something else, even if it's just for now. How does that sound?
Sounds good. I'll give it a go.
Okay, so what would you think would be a good name to call this problem? It's to do with perfectionism, but what would you find a good word, a good label or name?
The perfectionist trap. I just feel that I'm really trapped in this situation at the moment.
Okay, so like the perfection trap?
That's right.
Yep. Or okay. All right. So when was the first time that you noticed the perfection trap being an issue in your life?
I guess it's always been there. I was brought up one of four siblings by very strict parents, and we had to be perfect children, the type old school seen and not heard. Um,
Okay.
it sort of stemmed from there, and it carried on throughout my life where everything had to be perfect. If people were coming over, the house had to be spotless. And then I sort of started taking it into other areas of my life.
Okay. So when would the perfection trap be its most powerful over you? When would it feel that it has the most power over you? In what situations?
I think work and personal life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And how would it interfere with your personal life? What sort of impact does it have on your relationships?
I find that people are actually now saying that I become a little bit aggressive, whereas I feel I'm just becoming frustrated by boiling up this inner demon, this perfectionist trap that I sort of want them to be as tolerant as me in perfectionism. I'll give you an
Okay.
example. Like my daughter wanted to lift to an engagement party. Now she was running an hour late. You can imagine me being a perfectionist. I expect to be there at 5 o'clock. It's get in the car, off we go. But to wait an hour, the stress is sort of rising, and it's like, how could someone not be ready if 5 o'clock was the time, rather than have the approach, well, it doesn't really matter what time, so long as you're ready and you do the service, like.
So the perfection trap is causing you a deal of anxiety at times.
Definitely, definitely.
Okay.
Even with relationships, that I seem to have such high expectations with everybody, because I want to be perfect in everything I do, to the point where I've let it get out of hand. Other examples, whether it be the partner or whether it be my parents, even, because I felt they weren't able to do such a good job with their cleaning, I started taking over their cleaning roles. And because I knew I'm a perfectionist, so I would do a thorough job and feel good about doing it. But then the goodness is gone and I'm starting to feel used, and it's not really their problem, it's my problem because I need this level of perfectionism all the time where I have to be the perfect person and do the perfect job and the perfect thing.
Okay, so would I be right in saying that the perfectionism or the perfection trap is making you feel that you have to do more than probably what's even expected of you?
Definitely, definitely. And,
Okay.
and that's what I'm saying. What's annoying me now is I'm the one that has the issue, but I'm blaming other people for what I initiate, but it comes across as their expectation, and yet in the beginning it's not their expectation, it's my expectation. I want to be a perfect partner, a perfect daughter, a perfect mother. So I do all these things for people, but then I tend to go overboard by trying to take over and control and be perfect.
Okay, so can I ask the perfectionism trap, how has it then affected your relationships? You're telling me what actually is happening, but has it put a direct strain on these relationships, or isolated you in any way from these relationships?
Definitely, I find that, as I said, I no longer feel I'm doing it to please me. I'm doing it, I'm sort of being used because now it's expected because I've done it a few times now. I have to do it all the time, so it's gone completely out of focus. It wasn't how it was intended. I was only trying to be perfect and helping, but now I've sort of created this rod for myself.
So the perfectionism trap has almost caused a backfire effect on you.
Yes, yes. And even in workplaces, I've noticed that being a perfectionist, you're always cleaning up the desk and doing this and everything else to the point where the boss, when the cleaners aren't in, she'll say, "Do you mind doing some cleaning?" Because they know that I'm constantly cleaning and tidying and having things perfect. And again, although I do it, I keep thinking, I'm not a cleaner, why am I doing the cleaning? So I seem to get myself into those situations with my perfectionist trap sort of thing.
Okay, so what feelings do you have that make you feel that the perfectionism trap has to be such an important part of your life?
Well, I guess I've always felt I'm a perfectionist. I've always put it down to the fact that I'm a Virgo, which is my birth sign, and they are perfectionists. But I find that even if I go for interviews and they say, what is one of your weaknesses? And I say the fact that I'm a perfectionist because I'm constantly tidying or straightening. But again, I see that as a strength, but not everyone does because someone might have a piece of paper on the table and then they go to find it and I have cleaned it up, so it does become an issue.
Okay, so it sounds like you can identify some strengths from this perfectionist trap, but you can also identify some um, limitations because of it as well. So that's interesting that you've been able to identify that. So, what behaviours do you find that are negative that arise from um, from the perfectionist trap? What negative behaviours does it have in your life that outweighs the good behaviours?
Well, I find that people don't really appreciate what I'm doing. I thought they would really be appreciative and love the fact that I'm doing it, but what it actually does is create animosity because they get the feeling then that they're not doing a good enough job or they're not living up to my expectations. So it sort of goes around in circles. It's like a cycle that doesn't end.
Okay. So, who would you say was mostly benefiting from this perfectionism trap?
Well, as I said, I always thought the others were because I was doing it, but hearing what they're saying, it's creating more problems because they're not really appreciating it's annoying them. And that's when I realised that my problem is interfering with other people as well as myself.
Okay, so you really have always felt that you've been under the influence from a small child by the perfectionist trap, and you have believed that it has served you a purpose and it's been important in your life, but now you're seeing that the perfectionist trap can actually hold you back and cause you a lot of stress in your life that you may not experience if you weren't under the influence of the perfectionist trap. Does that sound right?
That's definitely right. And what I find is I would like to be a little bit more laid back. I mean, in all my life, I've never been late to an appointment. I've never been late to work. I've always got up, and even if it's hours beforehand, to make sure that I'm ready. Like, I have to stop putting that stress on myself and just have a little bit more relaxed. I mean, I remember when I was on public transport and I started really freaking out because the bus broke down, and I'm thinking, I've got a doctor's appointment, I have to be there in 15 minutes. Should I get off and walk rather than wait on the replacement bus? And I mean, that's ridiculous. Does the doctor really care if I'm 5 minutes late because the bus broke down? But that's what happens when you're in this perfectionist trap, you know, like these things are big mountains for you.
Great. All right, Tina, thank you. We might end it there because I'm only doing the 3 steps as this assessment requirement. So thank you.
Thank you.